Good morning and welcome to first day of Open Week. My name is Somilantinge and I'm from the marketing team. Joining me today is Brunilda Gerber, who is the head of department for the School of Financial Planning and Insurance. Just a bit of housekeeping on my side. If you check on the right hand side of your screen, there should be an interactive chat box. Please type in your name, tell us where you're watching from. We would love to hear from you. We're also running an ask a question box, so this is where you can pop in all your questions and we will answer those during our Q&A questions or during the duration of this session. We're very excited to welcome everyone and we're looking forward to hearing all your questions and whatever thing that you would like us to assist you with. So before I take more time, I'm going to hand over to Brunilda, who will be talking to us about Millpark and our wonderful School of Financial Planning and Insurance and all our wonderful qualifications. So over to you, Brunilda.
So just from my side, welcome everyone. We're excited to have you all here today and to share our qualifications with you and to share all the details on the qualifications with you. So I think we're going to just quickly start. So we will be during this session, we will be touching on the higher certificate in financial planning as well as the advanced certificate in financial planning. Our postgrad diploma in financial planning, we will be dealing with on Thursday during the same time, and the short-term qualifications will be dealt with on Wednesday, tomorrow, also during the same time. So you're welcome to join those as well. Okay, just in terms of Millpark, where we fit into the overall group of schools. So Millpark Education is part of the Stadio Holdings Group. You will see there that we have Millpark Education, then there is Stadio and AFDA. Under the Millpark Education, there is different schools. We have got the business school, we've got the School of Commerce, we have the investment and banking school, the college, and then us, the Financial Planning and Insurance School. So who are we? So Millpark Education was established in 1997. And in similar, we can maybe just move to the next slide for me there. We have our offices is based in Observatory in Cape Town. And we want to provide trusted, leading learning journeys to all our students with high level of holistic support that are accessible and transformative. We are today very excited to partner with you on your financial planning learning journey. So in terms of the programs that we offer on NQF4, the Certificate in Financial Products. On NQF Level 5, we offer the Higher Certificate in Financial Planning, the Higher Certificate in Financial Products, and the Higher Certificate in Short-Term Insurance. On the NQF Level 6, we offer the Advanced Certificate in Financial Planning, the Advanced Certificate in Short-Term Insurance. And on the NQF Level 7, in conjunction with the School of Commerce, we offer a BCom with a major in financial planning or a BCom with a major in short-term insurance. And then lastly, we also offer the NQF 8 postgrad diploma in financial planning. So in terms of distance learning, the distance learning is set there to focus on an approach of self-paced learning. Similar, if you can maybe just move to the next slide for me, please. It is a flexible learning environment and it gives you a way to access the different formats of studying. And we've got different types of ways to assess you. So one of our assessment types is the formative, which is done on online tests and submissions. And then we also have the summative, which is a proctored online examination. The formative exam contributes 30% towards your final mark, and it consists of a combination of assignments and online tests. Then we also have the summative assessments, which contributes 70% towards your formal mark, and you have to obtain at least 40% in the exam to pass, but the overall pass rate is 50%. On the distance learning course page, I've provided a snip there for you to just see what it looks like, to get the look and feel of the course. So you have different tabs on there. Sorry, so if you could just move one slide back for me, please. We've got the overview tab. Then we also have the content tab. We have got the support material tab, the live at Millpark, the proctorio help, the formative tab, the mock exam, and then a summative tab where you write your exams. So all of these pages covered, or these tabs cover different contents of your studying experience. On the overview page, you will find things such as the tutor forum, you'll find a study plan, and any necessary information that you need regarding the qualification. You will also find on there the tutor forum where you can post your questions for a tutor to answer you within 48 working hours. So there you have the opportunity to ask all your questions you have relating to academic queries. Moving on to the support material tab, there you will find additional study material such as recordings or documents or links to articles that you have to read that will assist you with your information. So I think I actually missed the content tab. On the content tab, you will be able to find all your information regarding your qualification. There you will find your study guide as well on Vital Source and information on how to log onto that. Similar, if you can maybe just move on. So it seems to be a little slow. Okay, there is the example of the online material that you can find, and then any additional recommended reading you will also be found on there. The next one would be then the support material tab, if you can move on to that. And we can just see what that looks like. There you will find the recordings and also the slides for the recordings. On the Live at Millpark tab, similar, the next slide, please. The Live at Millpark tab, you will find information regarding the live sessions that we host. There you will find the information on the dates and the times. You will also find the link on where to access the live session. And after the live session, you will find the recording of the live session on there, as well as the slides. Then on Proctorio Help slide, which is the next one, you will also find information relating to Proctorio, so very important. All our exams are proctored exams, and we have provided information on frequently asked questions and certain errors that currently occur on Proctorio in the Proctorio Help section. So very important to refer to that tab and to work through all of those. On the formative tab, which is the next slide, you will see that you have there your where you can download your assessment, and then also the document on which you prepare your assessment, and also the upload tab. You will also find your online tests, both of them on the online tabs. Very important to also note that at least one of your tests will be an online proctored test, which is normally the second test. On the next slide, you will find, I've just displayed the mock exam. So we prepare the mock exam so that students can access the experience of a real exam. So you will be able to log in and follow all the Proctorio recording or steps to make sure that you are able to write your exam. And then also in there, it's a real exam, so it's based on similar questions that you can expect in the exam. So it gives you a real opportunity to experience a practical exam. Then lastly there we've got the summative exam, where you'll see that you will find the exam link on which you can click on the next, there we go. You will also, so on the link that you can click to access your exam, you'll also find on there the exam instructions document and any guidelines regarding technical support. So that is what our online summary, or what it looks like on our online course environment. And then I am handing back to Samila to introduce to you our next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brunilda. Our next speaker will be Sune van Skalwyk, which I am shortly bringing up to the screen. She will talk to you. She is an program oversight manager for higher certificate in financial planning. So she'll be able to talk to you through the program, what it entails, and yeah, over to you, Sune.
Good morning. Thank you. Welcome everyone. I can see there's been going on quite a bit of conversation here. A little bit about Port Elizabeth as well. Thinking of you guys in the rain. Needed much that side. I've got family there. But in any case, we're here to talk about higher certificate in financial planning. I am the program oversight manager, and this is quite a useful qualification, not only for those in the industry, but I definitely think for those stepping out from matric as a useful to have in your pocket to know how to work with your finances. So Miller, you can move to the next slide. So let's have a look at this qualification. Before we get into why study with us, the higher certificate in financial planning qualification provides you a tertiary level, first off NQF 5 level, so a bit higher than your matric, and this qualification is SAQA registered. There is a qualification code, and you can go and search for us on there if you want to read more detail about this qualification. But why study with Milpark? And I think our head of department, Brunilda Gerber, there brought it quite in nicely to see that online interactive course pages that you can work through on your own time, go through tabs, and making it so much easier to study anywhere. And that's really useful. When I started studying, I had to go to a university and we had to sit in class, and there was not this benefits of studying online. Nowadays we find it all over, but in terms of what Milpark can provide you specifically for our qualifications and that of higher certificate in financial planning is a niche outlook in this environment, and it equips you with that skills that you need as a financial advisor or as an administrator or person working in this industry that requires the knowledge of the financial planning industry. Here we not only equip you with the phase act, but some further detail as to how the changing nature of the financial industry impacts on your client and on the financial planning practice. Looking at calculations, we take you through how to do analysis, how to conduct those reviews, how to do proper recommendations. Once you've completed this qualification, you can request a class of business certificate, as you all those that have been working in the industry or coming to know this industry know that we now have some additional fit and proper requirements on us, and that's per board notice 194, and we do offer on certain modules that class of business certificate. So another useful thing that you then do not have to go and complete additionally, we give that to you on completion once you request that. Another earmark for us and an important for you entering in the industry to just also get that value add for your client is that we are approved with the financial planning industry of South Africa. So we are accredited education provider. And once you have completed this qualification, we obviously allow you that opportunity to go and register with them. And then you can obtain that further designation with them. And we'll look at that. So Millie can move on for me to the next slide. So I've mentioned briefly who should study with us, and definitely those requiring their phase fit and proper purposes. So I mentioned you will not only meet that qualification designation, but we can also then on completion of this qualification get you that other ticks that you needed in terms of class of business requirements. There's certain certificates that we do give at hand. I've mentioned that I strongly feel that also persons entering the working life, this is a useful qualification, as we also do teach you how to look at your finances, but it's obviously containing a lot more information that's more specific to this industry. So new entrants to the industry will definitely gain a good foundation of knowledge about the different legislation, not only the FASE Act, but FICA, income tax, and you'll get to know the financial planning industry as a whole. As I mentioned, FPI approved, you can then apply for that designation to be a registered financial planner, just giving you that one up on your designation with your employer to say that you are also a registered financial planner with the Financial Planning Institute. So MILPOC offers you those additional add-ons to this. On your journey, as you study with us, you'll have myself as your program oversight manager. You'll see me on an induction session, or when life gets a bit tough, or when it goes really well, you'll get to hear from me. Then you'll have your go-to, and this is not just your program manager, but your program runner. So he supports all the way through. And there's Ishmael King. He's unfortunately not here this morning, but you will, for those joining us, get to know him. We've got a couple of lecturers supporting you through this journey that specializes in each of these fields, that provides you an overall best and equips you with best knowledge to each of those modules that you have. So I'll talk to some of these modules where each of them slot in. There's Gisela Butler, there's Dion Klaassen, there's Sunazu. Samila can maybe help me with the pronunciation there. I am not so certain. But then you have
Gozo.
Tamsin Gradwell, and she comes in with her tax knowledge there for us on this qualification. Gary van der Merwe been here with MILPOC for quite some time, so he comes in with very good support, not only on a module level, but as you advance with studies with us, you get to meet up with him again through that. And then I also offer on some of those modules some niche help. Okay, next slide. So on the higher certificate of financial planning, there's quite a lot of subjects up in this, but only 4 compulsory. So yes, when you look at it and you have to join us, or if you're already starting with your admissions and registration, where to start, we start you off with, you need to take 4 compulsory modules, and then we offer you the opportunity to select 2 electives. So a 6-module qualification where we ask you to start off with the introduction to your financial planning environment, and we then let you progress in your studies. And here you get to the credits of this qualification and as to when they are to offer. So yes, you can start this qualification in the 2nd semester. So for those wanting to start now, you can start, and both of the semesters we offer the compulsory modules. here is some of those names. So Introduction to Financial Planning. You've got tax, financial planning, income tax, then retirement and investment planning, and then risk planning. So the compulsory modules. You'll notice there about the module credits. As you get to know more about studying and studying further, then you'll see with module credits, it's quite important to note that these take up and you get to learn a bit more in detail, in depth, with the hours linked to those. Elective modules. So there's quite a lot of elective modules to work through on this qualification, and you are able to select 2 of the elective modules. You should note that some of these modules, and we've really tried to run most of them in both, but there is some of these modules that's only offered in semester 1. So we've got an elective here, Basic Principles of Business Financial Planning. This we've got in the past really good student feedback from. Students really enjoy this. Just another aspect from financial planning where you need to gain a bit more of niche knowledge, and Gerry van der Merwe has been our lead there and has been really doing good on that module. Then personal lines and insurance. So here the word there, insurance, is a specific focus on short-term insurance for those working in the short-term industry, and it offers them again a bit of niche touching on that module specifically. Relationship marketing for financial planners. In the industry, we've seen that this has really changed quite drastically on how we have to build those relationships and keep them with our clients. And we've re-looked at this module in the past year, and we've really tried to link that to where we are at. So a really good module also for those wanting to take that module, offered in both semesters. So you can move on. Then we've got retirement funds. That's an elective that is only offered in semester 1. So if you want to take that, remember that only in semester 1 of the year. So a semester 1 runs from when we start off in February to June, and then your semester 2 starts in July, and that's normally about until end November, December. So basically the first 6 months, semester 1, the last 6 months of the year is semester 2. And wills and administrations of the seized estates. This has been a module that a lot of students have enjoyed and have felt that this is really interesting to take on. They might not always work in the industry in the specific field of this, but a good basis to form, to have a bit of niche knowledge should your client have that questions around that. The same with health planning. This module is only offered in semester 2 though, and offers that niche touch onto how to do that calculations and formulate a proper health plan for a client. So Mila, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so those are the modules. For those who already are trying to join in, just think again through them. If there's any questions, you're welcome to ask. And I'm going to talk around just a bit the program manager. Fortunately, not able to join us this morning, but I'd like to say to you the importance of the support person that is there on your journey with these studies. So the role is there to provide you with support throughout your journey. Any questions, administration related to your studies, that program manager is there just at a email or a touch of a call, and in most instances you'll get that help from that person within 48 hours at maximum, I would say, but we do allow them also respond time, and they are able to guide you and provide you assistance and correctly direct you if you're still uncertain as to which modules to still, how many modules can I still elect. I want to take more than what I am required in terms of how long my qualification is, where am I at When do I receive my report with my results? Where can I get the class of business certificate once I'm done with this qualification? They are around to help you. If you're stuck with any point that you are sitting with a situation that you cannot write an online test or an exam, then they are there to provide that necessary support. Here, we've really just given you that their approach is to guide you through this education, tertiary further education, as they help you in all aspects, intellectually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. We know that since COVID, that without this team member, a lot of our students would have really struggled because they guided them so well and they got the best possible assistance from these program managers on the qualification. So they are your safe space, and they are here to make it not just easier in terms of all the theoretical information that you have to work through, but in terms of that administration that most of us tend to find a bit daunting. You can move to the next slide, Samela. So in terms of your qualification, your program manager will be able to tell you what is required when you apply for that admission. They'll tell you that you need that senior certificate, so that matric that you've completed, and you would have need to obtain at least 40% in English. Our qualification is entirely in English, so that is the language of all instructions. So we expect that you have a good understanding of that, and that's something that the program manager will also make you attend to again. On successful completion of the higher certificate in financial planning, you will be awarded with 120 credits. I mentioned about the credits just a bit earlier. Each credit is about 10 notional hours that you spend time on. So in total, you would have spent on study and furthering yourself with knowledge in the financial planning industry of 1,200 hours once you've completed this qualification. So that's also a good link to tell yourself, what is the time frame that I will need to spend if I am studying whilst working and doing this after hours, what I'll need to really put myself into the studies. And yes, some may say, okay, I've now met those hours and I'm now done. So why is it still taking so long? Remember that there is application. So we do expect that you get to know that knowledge and then apply. We've over the past couple of years put together a progression for the studies to make it just easier to go and move along to the next module. As you would know, as you join the industry, it does become overwhelming with all the different legislations and everything that you need to know. As I mentioned, there's 6 modules. 2 of those are electives, so 4 is compulsory. And we then ask that you start off your studies with the compulsory modules, specifically Introduction to Financial Planning, and this will be your start off. You are able to do 1 module at a time, but in most instances, we do see attendance that students is wanting to complete this qualification in a year, taking on 3 modules a semester, and then where we see that students do struggle, we would recommend that you move to reducing that number of modules and taking 2. But in terms of the rules of progression, IFPE, Introduction to Financial Planning, starting off there to get to know the industry, a little bit more detail as to what's happening, and then Financial Planning, Income Tax, because these form the basics when you, and not just that basis for when you are doing calculations, but also for providing advice. Because as you advance to retirement and investment planning and risk planning, here you require that knowledge of the FAIS General Code of Conduct to ensure that you provide suitable financial advice. So Mila, you can move along. And then the 2 electives, we went through the detail there of them. As I mentioned, it would be important for those planning to start off studies in semester 2 or whether you start in semester 1, that if you are choosing an elective, and to ensure that it is on offer in the correct semester where you are starting off, or how your planning is going with these. But these are the 2 electives that you can then choose from. You can move along for us, Miller. Okay. So once you've completed this, just as you complete your matric, at least not as many years in high school, not 5 years, but you will be awarded a certificate. So you will get a certificate in NQ 5. It will state there that you've got 120 credits. And yes, this is tertiary education. So it's accredited with the Higher Education Council. And as I mentioned, this then is your start off to that tertiary levels as you build on your curriculum vitae regarding education. For those then wanting to take this further, they can move along with this NQ5 qualification with Milpark to our NQ6. And Harry will talk around the Advanced Certificate in Financial Planning. And you can also take this NQ5 level and move along to the Milpark Bachelor of Commerce degree. That would give you that NQF level 7 with that major in financial planning. So there is some routes that you can follow to move along in advancing and just furthering your studies with Milpark. So Mila, move along for us. Okay, so here we are at questions. Is there anyone with questions at this point? Harry is joining us here to offer some help.
So now there's a question about the medical scheme module. I think maybe it's good to address that. The question is, I know Brunilda's answered it, but maybe you can just talk about it. The question is, does the health planning module have anything to do with medical aid advice?
Yes, so that module definitely gives you a little bit of background in terms of how to provide that advice. It starts off with just getting to know the legislation around it. We even touch in that module around products that link in with your medical scheme. So that's really a good module for those working in that industry. We then take you further in terms of the calculations of how to look at a client situation should they be at a tax scale that we want to see if it's beneficial for them to claim not just only that expenses but tax credits. And then in the last topic of that module, we focus quite a good around what's happening in the industry with advice and what's required from the Council of Medical Schemes for a person providing advice as an accredited broker for medical schemes. So yes, it does give you that total knowledge.
Maybe I can just jump in here and say, so that health, the medical schemes module focuses on medical schemes. So it goes into quite a lot of depth. And if that's an area that you want to specialize in, that's definitely a module to look at. Or if it's an area that you're interested in, it's an elective. But we also cover medical schemes at a more basic level in the risk planning module. RPLA, risk planning. So in that module, you'll get a basic understanding of things like how medical schemes work, waiting periods, late joiner penalties. You'll know enough to probably give some advice on medical schemes. But the health planning module goes into a lot more depth with the tax and kind of the whole context of what happens to medical schemes in South Africa. So I hope that helps you, Edgar, with your. I hope that addresses your question. Okay. Can I just remind everybody again that there's a nice functionality. There's a link at the bottom of your screen that says ask a question. So if you want to ask something, just pop something in there for us. That way we can, we can look at that and address that where appropriate.
Harry, maybe just mention around, because I saw there was a question regarding study material. We now mentioned how nice everything is online and how you can access it, but we do provide printed study guides for each module. So maybe just talk, that area well.
Yeah, sure. So what you get, we've got all these electronic aids, but I think there's probably still academically a debate around whether people need physical study guides or not. And we do still send a study guide to you with all of the content that you need, so you don't have to buy any textbooks on either the higher certificate or the advanced certificate that we're going to cover next. And it's I don't want to, it's obviously something that we offer to students and that we're very proud of. But I know even when I started at Moorpark, I was very impressed with the guides. I suppose you've got to look at it to talk about whether you agree with it or not, but it's a very user-friendly guide. It's got lots of examples in, it's got self-assessment questions, so it's not just theory. We've taken the theoretical part of your knowledge, and we've packaged it in a very user-friendly manner. And so for every module, you get one of those. It's included in the price, and it gets couriered to you. There was a query, you're right, Suna, about the how the study guides get sent out to you. It gets couriered to you, and in my experience, it's a very smooth process. It doesn't go through the post. It just, somebody delivers it at your home. I see there's another question coming in. Marlon's asked, please advise if you have a venue where you can write the exams. So, Marlon, what happened at Moorpark is before lockdown, even before that started, we started to move to online exams. And because we think it fits with the working life of our students, most of our students, it just fits in very nicely. Somebody can sit in an office. They don't have to travel anywhere, and it makes it very convenient. So our preferred method is for students to actually write online exams. We see very low. We do offer some kind of functionality, so it is a backdoor for physical exams, but we find that the students prefer to write online exams. During lockdown, we actually managed to not miss any exams. Lockdown didn't affect our exam season at all. Didn't affect students' studies, didn't disrupt it. And if you just think about the benefits of traveling health-wise, one of the things we struggled with during COVID is if we let students go, even when they open up the exam venues, if we let students go and write, and there's a case of COVID, it could be that your exam is cancelled for the next day because they've got to clean up the office. So we do offer both, but we're definitely leaning towards online exams, and we've got some good experience with that as well. And it's running smoother and smoother now. So now, do you want to take the next question?
Yes, I see there was a question regarding the timetable. Arman, I'll post the link and give you that. It's already available on our website. So I'm not certain if you're referring to our study plans, if you've been with us studying before, because then obviously it's much more detailed. Those are available normally by the first week latest of July. And in terms of the timetable, you can find that online. I will provide you with the link. I'll see if I can upload the higher certificate in financial planning's timetable for those interested to taking on a module this semester, or 2 or 3.
So now I do think, I'm not sure, but I do think everyone's probably talking about the study plans. Maybe you could just also, or maybe I could just, the study plan should be available from the 1st of July. So Herman, as soon as I have a study plan, that's something that we also provide. Thank you for that question, Herman. We provide a suggested study plan to our students for every module. You don't have to follow it, but it gives you a nice roadmap of how to get through the module. So you can actually take that study plan, populate your calendar and say, listen, by this week, I've got to do X amount of work. It takes you through week by week, and just adapt it to your own circumstances. If you've got a crunch time at work, maybe plan to work a little bit ahead of time to make sure you finish everything online. So it's a very useful resource that we also provide.
Harry, I think we need to move on, and we can take again questions at the end of your session.
All right, let's move on. Okay.
I will. Camilla will give a nice introduction.
Thank you very much, Sune. That was very informative. And for me, also, who's in marketing, I think I've learned a lot more. Gerry, who does not need an introduction anymore because in his true helpful nature, he just came in and have been of assistance. But just a bit on Gerry. Gerry is a program oversight manager for Advanced Certificate in Financial Planning, and that is what he will be talking to us about during this time. So over to you, Gerry.
Thank you, Sumila. So great. So I get to introduce the Advanced Certificate in Financial Planning, and I thought at the start I just want to position this qualification. And I think it is sometimes hard to get your head around why you want to do an NQF 6. The NQF 5, higher certificate, already meets your minimum requirement, to be able to provide advice. So why would you go on and do a level 6? It's not the next step to doing a BCom. That's slightly a different issue. And I think there's some questions as to why somebody would be interested in this. I think the NQF 6 is very suited to people who've progressed a little in the industry. Maybe you've done a higher certificate and you feel, but I still don't know enough, There's always more to learn in the industry, and you want to improve your knowledge to be able to provide better advice to your clients. And so the NQF 6 does that. I also see people with people have already got a degree, but they get into the industry, but they want a little bit more knowledge. Sometimes you get somebody who works for a company and he's getting into a managerial position. He does more management work, but he has to provide, he has to know what's going on in the industry. The advanced certificate does exactly what it says. It gives you that advanced knowledge. It's not foundational knowledge. It's I remember when I came in from industry, I looked at this the qualification, and I was quite impressed by what I saw content-wise and the knowledge in the modules. I'd say, in my experience, the advanced certificate would have been enough to cover about, 80 or 90% of the technical issues that I dealt with as an independent financial advisor. So it's useful in that regard. It's also useful for somebody like a broker consultant, somebody who deals with independence or has to provide a service to financial advisors, to be their fallback as a technical person. You often get that. I remember in industry, the BCs used to come around and they're so in industry, and you always had questions for them, and you want to be able to engage with them at an appropriate level. And I think the last reason, probably not the only one, but the other one that I thought of highlighting, is people who want to go on and become certified financial planners. I think it's something to strive for, and the advanced certificate provides you with a little bit of a bridge from where you are right now, that advanced knowledge, to be able to go on towards a postgraduate diploma. A good stepping stone to get your foundational knowledge right. Okay, so let's move on to staff. Staff matters, people that work on the advanced certificate in financial planning. As you can see, we're sharing program managers a little bit, and there's a list of lecturers. I just want to say something about the lecturers that's important from a Milpark perspective, and that's that all of them have client-facing financial advice experience. So they know what you're going through in industry. They've got that practical experience. They've dealt with some of the challenges that you're going to be sitting with. And so our modules tend to lean towards a practical side rather than a purely theoretical side. I know there's you can argue around how practical it is or not, but we've got that practical touch that we understand how it fits into your, the how the theory fits into what you've got in practice. And, I think it helps the modules be realistic and it just makes it something that you can take and apply immediately if you're working as a financial advisor. Next thing we thought to discuss is just to give you an overview of the different modules on the advanced certificate. Our two foundational modules is a tax module and a legal aspects module. Financial planning is really all about, I think those two are the cornerstones of most of your financial advice fields. You have to have that legal basis that sets the framework for what you need to do. And then tax, almost every financial piece of financial advice has some kind of tax implication. And it's important to get the basic knowledge down there. Don't be scared of the modules, all right? I think students often look at this and think, oh, this looks difficult. I think you have to take it in a adventurous manner, approach it and think about, wow, think about all the interesting things you're going to learn. And I tell you what, you're going to learn, you're going to know what's going on in a lot of the taxation after you finish with this module. And when you finish with the qualification, you'll probably, you're going to learn some things that are going to be very useful in your life and probably in your work and definitely in your work. But, and I just, so we start off with those two modules. The next module is a corporate module. It's a module where we introduce you to financial planning for businesses. So we talk about types of business entities, financial statements, and then the different solutions that we structure for them. Personal financial planning is our one of where we get into all the technical analysis. How do you calculate shortfalls? How do you calculate what a person's estate needs are? And that flows into its sister module, the practical application or case study module. What's nice about the case study module is that it mimics what happens on a postgraduate diploma in financial planning. Similar, maybe if we can move the slide ahead one, please. And that's why this course is useful also as preparation for the postgraduate diploma. So what happens in case study is we provide you with an actual scenario and you're going to be giving advice. And it's going to be integrated. We're not just focusing on tax, not just focusing on retirement needs, a little bit of everything, the way it is in practice. And that's also how you're tested on your postgraduate diploma. You've got a case study module there. It's an open book exam, which kind of gives you an idea for what to expect from this. It's very wide. And I think, it speaks to that practical aspect of developing qualifications. That is something that you can use in the field. We also have a business management module. It's a bit of a generic business management module that focuses on financial planning aspects, and a trust law module, very specific field. If you want to get into trust, there's so much in the field of trusts that you'd be interested in. Perhaps if you're in a fiduciary capacity, this is a module that you should have a look at. And just something interesting, the business management module is, we're probably only going to run it in one semester from next year. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so that's it from a module overview perspective. I then have the privilege of handing over to my colleague, Tulani Dube, as the program manager for the advanced certificate. Just wait till Tulani, Tulani's connection is completed. There we go. I see it's loading. There we go.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Tulani, your program manager for this module, for this qualification. Basically, as colleagues have said, like Sunez has basically mentioned, that I am your go-to person in terms of this qualification. All your administrative queries or help that you may need going forward, once you are in, I'm the person that will basically assist you. I'll basically be here to hold your hand and to make sure that your journey is easy, and flows very nice in terms of your studies as well. And if you need anything, you can basically reach out. Any administrative issues that you might encounter while on the program with us, I am that person that you can basically go through. Right, if you can move on, similar to the next one. So yeah, just tell a little bit about me and the qualification itself. I've just recently joined Milpark this January. I'm bringing, with me quite a vast experience in terms of the education space, the higher education space. I'm looking forward to walking this journey with you. In my spare time, basically. Besides being the lover of fast cars and being an adrenaline junkie, I enjoy spending time with family and traveling. So basically, we've got 3 years to complete this qualification. So what we normally encourage our students to do is to basically try and manage their own plans and their own learning, to basically meet the demand of these busy times, because we just in the COVID times, people are working, people are basically trying to balance working and studying, so we encourage you to basically adjust your learning to your own plans, and as Khari has mentioned, this qualification basically involves the skills, the knowledge, and the values, the attitudes that that are the building blocks necessary for your next employment and advancement within the financial planning field. You can move on, similar. So in terms of your admission requirements, you will need to have your Milpark High Certificate in Financial Planning. As mentioned before, that's at NQF level 5. You will also take candidates with the National Certificate in Wealth Management at NQF level 5 as well. So basically, you will need an NQF level 5 qualification, which is appropriate, basically to gain entry into the level 6 qualification. Or, as Khares mentioned again, we basically find students who have done their degrees, which are at NQF level 7 and up, who comes back to say they need more knowledge in terms of the financial planning field, and they join us. So your accredited bachelor's degree as well. And we also take quite a limited number of students through our RPL, which is recognition of prior learning, where we look at your experience and we look at what you've done in the past, so that you can then basically gain credits to enter into this qualification. Thank you, Semira. You can move on. Okay, in terms of the suggested rules of progression, this qualification consists of 6 modules, as Khari has presented, and we basically encourage students not to take the elective in their first registration or in their first semester, and in order to have the required, body of knowledge and the progressive, therefore, that we have basically made for you basically to progress very well in this qualification, you need then to start with your legal aspect of financial planning, going to your taxation for financial planners, and all the 6 as they appear in that order, And this is basically done so that you can afford you the greatest opportunity for you to basically complete the qualification in a required time. And others take the qualification in a space of a year. Others, they take modules, piece by piece, meaning you can register for 2 modules or 3 modules, depending on your capacity and depending on your plan. Thank you, Simila. Similar, we can move on.
Hi, Tulani. Are you struggling to see?
I am here. I'm seeing now. Yeah, I'm sure it was just a glitch in connection. All right. So upon completion of this qualification, you will basically be awarded with an NQF level 6 qualification, your advanced certificate in financial planning qualification with 120 credits. And this is accredited and registered on the Council of Higher Education. And once you then acquire this qualification, you can then be able to move on to the NQF level 8 postgraduate qualification, depending on your experience, where we'll take you through our RPL policies. And you can also articulate vertically to your bachelor to your bachelor's, to your BCom, majoring in financial planning. Thank you, Simila. All right. Now checking off the Capitec funding and admissions closing. As you can see there, admissions are closing on the 1st of July, with registration on the 15th. Basically here we just assist our students in terms of giving them, empowerment or knowledge in terms of how to access funds, and we're partnering with Capitec there, and Capitec pays directly onto the Milpark account, onto your student account. So they don't pay directly to your account, but basically pays onto the Milpark for your studies. And those are just the easiest ways to basically make sure that you don't fall behind in terms of your payment, and you find yourself, being kicked out of the program because of stopping your progression in terms of continuing with this qualification because you've missed some payments. So basically, you can go to Capitec, apply, and they will pay directly to us. All right, thank you. Not sure if there's any question, and if there is any question, colleagues and Harry are on standby, and we're here. We can answer any of your concerns and questions going forward. Thanks.
Can I jump in here, Tulani? There's a question about, can you do the qualification in a year or not? And I was busy typing, but perhaps it's easier to ask and answer it in person. So it's possible. You can do 3 modules a semester, and you can finish the qualification in a year. I just want to say that it does take, you have to think about how much time you have available, because it does take a time investment, and it's important not to underestimate this qualification. It's a technical financial planning qualification. It goes into a lot of technical depth. So if you, I think if you're on top of kind of your foundational knowledge, if you know what's happening in tax, and you know how to do needs analyses, and you feel very comfortable with, let's say you've done a wealth management or a high certificate in financial planning recently, and you're working with that a lot, then it's you can do that. And we do have students that do 3 modules a semester. We also have a significant amount of students that take 2 modules a semester, and so they do it over a year and a half. And that seems to fit in well with many students who, to try and work out a balance between working, family, and studies. So those are the 2 options. I know it's not a clear-cut yes. So the short the short answer is yes, it is possible. But I just want to caution you, just think about it carefully. Do you have the capacity to do that? I know it's a bit of a personal decision, but just think it through before you commit to 3, because it could be a little bit overwhelming. Remember, in something like your personal financial planning module, you can do a client's analysis, a needs analysis on death, so estate duty, capital gains tax, all of those. You do retirement analysis and investment analysis. That's quite a lot of calculations and in-depth knowledge. And I think for many students, it would be better to to have a little bit more time to take it together with just one other module, and just make sure that you get everything done. Do you have enough time? Okay. Then there's a question, will our exam results be posted on the portal, Laura? Yes, it will be posted on the portal. You can access your results there. Okay. Don't see any further questions right now. Are there any questions that we've missed somewhere? Anything else that comes to mind?
I'm not seeing any questions also on my side, Gerry, so maybe we've answered them all.
Can I just say one more thing? So when I think about Millpark and just about why you would want to study through Millpark and do that, I think we appeal to on various different levels. The quality of the education is very good. The personnel experience, we've got quite a large team if you compare it to maybe we can compare it, but we've got enough personnel academics so that we specialize in that we can specialize in different areas. It's not just one academic who has a general knowledge of a lot of areas. So I think that's an advantage. I think we are it works if you want to study full time. The system runs very smoothly, but we're particularly well suited to somebody who works and studies at the same time. Just the system is set up that way. The online support system is smooth. It runs smoothly. The way the material is set up is in a logical manner. And I think, I've studied through contact learning and distance learning university, so I think it depends on where you are in your life, and it's your own decision. But I think I don't think you have to be worried about this. It's just something when I did my own studies, I also considered Millpark, and I eventually went for another institution. And in hindsight, I probably would have made a different decision. At the time, I wasn't sure. I wasn't familiar with Millpark, and that was what held me back. I went for for another institution that I was more familiar with. And I just I encourage you to just do some research. If you want to know who we are, find around the industry, speak to the Financial Planning Institute. And I think you'll find that we've been around for a very long time, and that our system's worked for a very long time. So, yeah. So Samila, I see there's one more question. Edgar's asked if you will be able to do the health planning module with NQF 6. No, Edgar, there's at NQF 6 we do the health planning integrated with corporate financial planning. Brunilda, maybe help me out, or one of the other program managers, but I do think we have an online short course on health planning. And it might be an option if you're very interested in that field to rather do the online short course in health planning. Thank you, Brunilda. I see you shaking. So and do that if you're interested in that, and also then do the advanced certificate. Maybe because think about how you can do the two together. Okay. Don't think there are any further questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. It's been such a pleasure hosting this session, and we are looking forward to more sessions for the rest of this week. So if you have missed the recording or you'd want to rewatch it, you can access this recording using the same link that you've used to register. So the recording is there. You'll be able to watch and go through the slides and the whole presentation at your own time. So thank you very much, Brunilda. Thank you, Gerry. And thank you to the rest of the financial planning and insurance team. And as we say in our messaging, we're looking forward to partnering with you guys on your learning journey. Have a lovely day, and thank you very much to everyone that has joined us this morning. Goodbye.